Hello, everybody. Hey, we are live. And guys, look who I have with me. This is Kim from Abundant Life Tarot. And she has been so nice to do this live with me and be my guest today. So I'm so glad she's here. Hi, Kim. How are you?
I'm great, Scott. Thank you for having me. And I have to say, and you already know, I'm in the island. So if I dip out and come back on, I do everything to come back on. And I'm continuing with
Right.
Mercury retrograde. So there's that.
Absolutely. There is that. I was having problems yesterday at work with our computers. Everything was going literally backwards. It was crazy to watch. It was crazy. It was like almost
Oh my God.
entertaining. It was almost entertaining. I'm like, things are literally going backwards on the screen. That's crazy. But it's Mercury retrograde. So there
That's
you
like
go.
symbolic. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's like backwards,
it was.
symbolic,
It was
the
freaky.
symbolism of it
It's
all.
like, okay, that's just
I
another
love
synchronicity
that.
that, yeah. Yeah. So,
Yes.
do you mind if I ask you, what island are you on?
I am in
Are you
the
Dominican?
Dominican Republic.
That's what
Yes.
I thought. That is what I thought. The beautiful
Yes.
country. My parents have been there. I think my sister's been there, and they say it's a beautiful country. So,
Oh,
yeah.
yes. I love it. They welcome me. The people welcome me with warm arms, even though there's a language barrier. But
Right.
we just seem, we seem to manage, and I love it. I absolutely love it here. Aside from the internet issues, that's a little challenging, but
Right. Well, we're doing good so far. We had a few issues before we came on, and we won't talk about it because we don't want it to happen again. But she's great now, and so we're gonna just keep going. So if it's okay, we'll just say hi to a few people, see who is here,
yes,
and
please
I
do.
believe you know this sweet lady, Miss Jackie Jacaranda is here with us.
Jackie.
And this
Welcome.
is
Thank you.
Natalie, Mystical Thorn. Hi, Natalie.
Hi, Natalie.
And Linda is here, Linda de Gonzalez, and
Hello,
Miss
Linda.
Moonlight. Hi, Miss Moonlight.
Well, hello. I love that name.
I know I do too. She is great. And let me see, just scrolling. Sarah's here from S.L. Wyman's Rock and Writing. You might
Hey,
know her.
Sarah. I do. That's my girl.
And Auntie K's Tarot Insights is here. You must have
Hi, my
brought her
girl.
in because I don't recognize that one.
She is definitely my peeps. Definitely my peeps. Hi, my friend Krista. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you for being here. Welcome. Let me see. Go down. Oh, there's another one I'm not sure of. Green Mountain Mystic must be one of yours as well.
Yes, ahoy. Ahoy, mateys.
Ahoy, matey.
Welcome.
Welcome. Yes. Let's keep scrolling. Hypnicity is here. Hello, Hypnicity.
Ooh,
Ocean.
ooh, love
Hi,
that.
Ocean Barnett.
Don't we have
And
the
let's.
best names in our community? I mean, my goodness, Hypnicity. I love that. It's
I
amazing.
know we do have lot of great names. Keep scrolling here. I didn't know it was Earth Day, so happy Earth Day to everybody. I didn't know that.
It's like that's so cool. I
Hey,
forgot. How did I forget?
yeah, I didn't even know at all. Hey, Teresa, welcome. Teresa Hadarian is here.
Hello, Teresa.
Hopefully, I didn't miss anybody. Jessica Lynn, hello. Come on in. Welcome. And
Welcome.
I'm still scrolling. Well, I don't see anything about technical issues, so it looks like everybody can see you and hear you fine. So let us know if everything's
Yes,
going good.
yes. Please
Viviani's
do.
here.
Hey,
Hello,
Viviani.
Viviani. And Lisa is here. Welcome, Lisa. And I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I did, I apologize. Um, so, Kim, I met you a couple years ago when I was just getting into the tarot, and you're one of the first people that I actually watched and just fell in love with you and your channel. You have such a wonderful presence, and it's just fantastic. So when I was doing my collaborations and I was thinking about who I wanted to do, you were right at the top of the list. So I'm so glad that you're here, and you're more than wonderful. So from
No,
what we've had discussions on is really interesting, and she has a very unique perspective on things that is very much like mine. So I'm just very welcome to have her here. So Kim, can you tell me about you, how you got started, as far as how maybe the channel came about and what you do on there? Then I'll just
yeah,
let you have
yeah,
it there.
yeah. Absolutely, Scott. And it's been such a pleasure just being able to get to know you. Like instantly, it was like we were just like two peas in a pod, like the
We had a
connection, like you
connection.
said, the
We
things that we had. Yeah. So I love that. Um, I started the channel in August of 2017, and it was after a year of me deep diving into tarot, oracle, and divining with like playing cards or just using my intuition. That had always been a part of my life, but I got serious about wanting to read like religiously, like all the time in 2016. So by 2017, I was like, I'm going to start a channel. And it came up alongside of when I started my Etsy shop and my website to offer readings for clients. And it was just born from there, a love of cards, a love of collecting cards and decks, and just finding community in the YouTube world. That was just, it was like such a gift to me. It filled me up. I had a very boring job. I mean, it was not boring in the sense that it scratched my analytical mind, but I was a list, first for an insurance company and then for the state of California. And that is far different. I think that's far different from what I do as a tarot reader, right? It's like one extreme to the other. And at nights and weekends, I'm doing readings. I'm either on the hotlines doing readings, I'm doing readings
wow.
to people who come through my website, through my Etsy shop, and I just breathe that. My channel, and then the 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, I'm an analyst. And yeah, I just wanted to fellowship with people about the
Yeah,
love of cards and divining with them. That's it. That's how I got started.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So you're doing that now where you have a regular job still, and then you're doing this on the nights and weekends. Is that right?
Not anymore. So during the
Right.
pandemic, okay, I'm going to just be very transparent with you guys. Okay. So
Yeah, if you
September
want
of
to.
2020, I was working from home. Yeah, I was just like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I feel empty. You would think working from home with a quote unquote cush job would have made me happy. It made me so unfulfilled because where it used to be very separate. I go to an office downtown and then I work in my house on my tarot business. When the pandemic occurred, everything merged together and I felt like empty and depressed. And I had an epiphany in September that I needed a change. And I sold everything, my house, my cars, everything except for my decks. And and a few clothes that are perfect for this weather. And my family, my little family, moved in January of 2021 to the Caribbean so I could do this full time. So I could do my passion of divining and reading the cards full time. So I retired my 20-year career of using my analytical mind. I still analyze, but in a different way.
That's amazing. That's really great story. That's amazing just to be able to do something like that. I wish I had the gonads to do that, something like that. So,
Sometimes I'm like, girl, you're crazy. What got into you? Because I'm normally not so like that, but
right.
you know.
And it worked out. So,
Yeah, so far so good. We'll see. I might have to come stateside again. We'll see how this goes, but so far so good.
how long have you been there?
January 4th, 2021 is when we landed, and we've been here ever since. So it's what now,
Okay.
2023? I cannot believe that.
Yeah,
April
over two
2023.
years.
Yeah.
Two
So,
years. That's a long time. That's great.
yeah,
But,
for real. Like, what? Yes, yes.
well, I had some questions for you. The main one that I think was on my mind is just the thing that we have in common is we believe in past lives, and it's a beginning to be a really important part of my life because I met a guy who was a lifetime regressionist, and just all these things started coming up, and then when I was with you was right like the day after that I came to the realization that I had a past life as my great uncle, and it freaked me out really bad. And then it really freaked me out when I realized, and I was like, "There's no getting around this. This is what it. This is what it is." You know, I was my great uncle, and then he passed just a couple years before me, and all the coincidences were just too. It was just too close and just too much. So
Hmm.
then the next day I got onto your live and you were talking about how you thought that you were a past family member as well. So would you mind talking a little bit about that and sharing? Because I love that story.
I know that's how we related.
One way,
Oh
yes.
my gosh. Yes, one of the many ways. So, May of 2020, I got a spectacular reading from someone who is like a Ifa priestess, and she tapped into my energies, and she said that I am reincarnated as my third great grandmother.
Wow.
Um, on my mother's father's side. So I was like, okay, like what? But what was interesting about that whole experience was that, like, the last couple of years prior to that, I was into Ancestry.com. And so I had already started doing like DNA genealogical stuff.
Right.
And I discovered a lady who happens to be my third great grandmother named Amy. And she was enslaved, a relationship with the slave master. TL is his name, like T as in Tom, L as in Lima. And they had a relationship. They had three kids, two boys and a girl. I have two living sons and a daughter. Her daughter's name was Ellen. I didn't know this. I didn't name my child after her. It was my maternal grandmother that I named my daughter after. But her daughter's name was Ellen, and her two sons. She had two sons, older boys, and then a daughter with this man. I had two boys, older than my daughter. My daughter's name is Ella, not Ellen. And there were so many like uncanny coincidences. And I started having these dreams, and they were coming up through my readings. And I had a relationship spiritually with TL, my great grandfather, who was with Amy. My so it so that was trippy. That she's living out her experience through me, and I'm still kind of like, is this for real? Like, what is going on here? But there were so many other uncanny things, coincidences about our life that are very similar, and
Right.
unresolved issues and anger that she had towards him, and that came up as well in my ancestral work. So it was, yeah. So when you came to the live that day, day and you were talking about that, it was like, we had like a kismet moment together. And I thought that was so cool and serendipitous.
Yeah, definitely. And that's
Amy, she's here. She's like here.
yeah, that's amazing. And I also that night that I discovered and kindly pieced together everything and just accepted it, um, that was the night that I was just like, people are gonna think I'm crazy. Think people are gonna think I'm insane. I can't tell anybody, you know. And so the next day was when I was on your live and you were talking about this and your grandmother Amy, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, well, I'm at the perfect place with the perfect people to be able to share the story. So, I know that I was in a past life with as my uncle. He just all kinds of things. He was an alcoholic. I went through a stage with alcohol, but I beat that, and it didn't. It wasn't even anything to beat. I just stopped drinking, and I can drink now if I want to. It doesn't bother me at all, but I usually just don't want to. But he was an alcoholic, died of alcohol like poisoning, I think is what it was. And
Oh,
and then I started looking up his genealogy. He was born one day apart from me, one day apart from me. And he was born on October 30th. I was born on October 31st. It ended up that I knew that they lived in this area, but not exactly where. It ended up that my bank was right beside the garage where he worked. Okay, they were right beside each other. And
what?
yeah, and then there was the war. He was in the war, and I have always been against war, and not only against it, but scared of being drafted in the war. And that's just a fear that I had from when I was little. You know, you would hear about, and then we had Desert Storm when I was, right around that age, and they were talking about possibly drafting people. And I realized that I
Mhm.
had my fear of war from him. And then we found out that he most likely was gay and he was a closeted gay man. And that's when it clicked. And I said he wanted to come back as a gay man again to his family, to as his sister's grandchild, because that was his favorite
Mhm.
sister. He lived with her, who is my real grandmother, and he wanted to come back as his favorite son, or his favorite nephew, excuse me, his favorite nephew's son. And it's still hard for me to piece it all together and just to believe it.
Right.
Yeah. But he wanted to come back as a gay man and go through the process of coming out, and that is what I have done as I've come out in my life. And I really believe that those two things, and there's many other things as well, that but he was such a nice and giving and caring person, but he had these faults. He had the problem with the alcohol, but I think that was because he would not come out, and he couldn't come out in that time period. In the 30s, 40s, 50s, you can't come out easily, especially in southwestern Virginia. That's just like a no-no.
Oh,
You just would not talk about it. But yeah, we
true.
found out that he more than likely was gay, and that, I mean, he never had a girlfriend. He never had, got married, and he would always go out with the boys and go. There was just too much there that the family just kind of knew, that he was. But yeah, that's my story. And then I was so scared when I found out, and then I came to your live, and that just made so much peace in my heart, because I'm like, I know Kim. Kim's not crazy, and if Kim's not crazy, then there's a possibility that this really could happen. So yeah, I have. So just thank you for being vulnerable and speaking out on it, because it really helped me as a person to identify with past, my past life, and that's the only one that I know of that I have, but you
Mhm.
help me to be able to express that. And most people that are on my channel know that story. So thank you.
Ah, You
again.
are welcome. Thank you. Because it was that cross validation that was needed. Because I didn't share it a lot with people because I was like the same, like, is this crazy? Like I can go out there, I can really take it there. But I was like, but when we connected on that level, it was like, no, this is my truth. This is my experience, and it's real for me. It's real for you. So yeah,
Right.
thank you. Thank you.
Well, we
Oh,
have a couple of questions, and maybe you can help me with this. Hypnicity wants to know, how do you identify past lives?
mm. Well, I have to first disclaimer. I am not an expert. I usually have to defer to those who I know is tapped in that way, and I'm not ashamed and not afraid to refer people to other specialties. In terms of identifying it for myself, it's almost very clear. I have not a guardian angel, but I guess you could call, if you want to liken it to it. My maternal grandmother, Ella, who my daughter is named after, she's like my interpreter, my translator, my protector of my spirit team. And she'll let me know straight up. When she was living, she was always just very loving and very just giving of information to me. And she also fostered this type of spirituality that I explore now. So when she crossed over, that didn't stop. So she lets me know, like, oh, oh, baby, this is so and so from this is so and so from this lifetime, or this is so and so. I have a spirit team. That could be very different though from someone who actually is really tapped in and aligned and who really can discern. Like their gift is being able to discern. Like this is from this lifetime. This is from that lifetime. Mine is more ancestral, where I can pick up on
Right.
other people's ancestral history. Whereas other people are like, oh yeah, you were Cleopatra. Like I don't have that gift, and I'm the first to say that. So
Right. Right. That makes sense, though. When did you first discover that you could kind of tap into ancestral work?
oh, through readings, like so a couple of times clients would ask me, and I'm like, oh, are you really going to ask me to do an ancestral reading? Because it's like, I felt like it was out of my wheelhouse. Like, are you
Right.
really? Like, spirit brings forth what it is that you're ready. It's like a test, if you will. And then you either accept or deny that test. So when the querent was like, don't worry about it if you can't tap in. I just want to see what you can come up with. If you can do it, great. If not, no worries. Don't worry about it. And so they gave me my querents gave me that ability, that flexibility to do it. And so I just was like, here we go. So I did a couple of readings, like it was like Etsy clients. And a couple of times on the hotlines, which is kind of scary because it's like that's a different kind of clientele. So it just kind of happened by happenstance. Just somebody asking me for a reading in that realm, and I just said yes. And to see it, and with the full disclosure, I'm not an expert in this. There's other people who are well versed in this, and they were like, "No, I love
Right.
you, and I love your readings, Kim. So I trust you. Share with
Right.
whatever comes up." And then this whole world came up, and I was like, "Oh, well, this is okay. It's not as scary as I thought it would be. All right, I could do this from time to time. Bring it on. Let's see how we do." So that's how it was. Somebody asked, and I said yes. Nothing
That's
much
awesome.
more than that.
All right, that's awesome though. That this whole world just came up with you, and I love the way that you said there was trust between you, so it was easy to come out. So,
Exactly.
let's see. This is Groon. I didn't realize, but I did see
Yes.
where Green Mountain that you said that you used to be Groon. So I do know you very well. So does an NDE, a near-death experience event, act to create a past life? I've been working on this thought for the past year.
Wow. Powerful question. So
Yes, very good
I
question.
pers it is, and I personally feel that it does. Every time that I've had, and I've had a couple of near-death experiences in my life. Um, and every time I've had something very, I want to say, humanly catastrophic that happened, where I nearly died, I could feel a deeper level of connection to my psychic abilities and my ability to tap to the other side of understanding past lives, understanding intuition, understanding that space. For example, when I had a near-death experience when I nearly lost, or I did lose my son, I was pregnant for 32 weeks, and I ended up having what's called a placenta abruption, where the placenta tears away from the uterine wall, and it causes the baby to lose oxygen to the brain. So my life and his life was in danger. And I remember having a moment where it was like I'm on the table in the hospital, and I could see myself kind of levitating and looking down and seeing what was going on and not understanding. I was only 20 years old. So it was that time. He passed away after 6 weeks. I survived, dealt with survivor's
Right.
guilt for sure. But there were other instances. I had a pulmonary embolism at 31. I had other instances where near death was like upon me. And each time, once I got better, I noticed something, a deepening of the understanding of the internal landscapes. And I noticed that with other people who talked about near death experiences and what it did for them in terms of tapping into the other side. So
Right.
that's what I know. So I would love to write a book on it. Not my experiences per se, but other people's experiences and documenting that. That'd be cool.
Right. Right. It was kind of like Dolores
What do you think
Cannon.
about that, Scott? Mm-hmm.
Right. Um, I don't know. I have never had a near death experience that I can remember really to create a past life. So I'm not sure. That's a great question. That's why I wanted to throw that out there to you and see what you thought. So I've never really, not that I can think of, have had one. So yeah, that was a question I wanted you to highlight there, Kim, and I think you gave a great answer. So
Thank
let me
you.
You're welcome. So, Sarah says something about New Orleans gets me every time I'm there. Very much a welcome home vibe. Guess past life there would be one possible explanation. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm like, drawn
Mm.
to Iceland and drawn to like, why in the world would you be drawn to Iceland? And it's just like it feels like it would be home to me. So I mean, I
Yeah,
get that, Sarah. Yeah. And I
I
think
do too.
perhaps you do
We're
that.
drawn to
Yeah.
those places.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
I think
Oh, that's
perhaps you
trippy.
probably were there. You either lived there or it was a very special place to you, in a past life. I
Yeah.
think that's very possible.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's very magical
so-
there too. I mean, it's magical anywhere, but New Orleans. I need to go. I need to go.
right, I hear it's a
Mm.
beautiful city. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Lisa says I get a lot of coincidences, and I don't believe in coincidences. So, choosing certain clothing, and my father said that that's exactly the style of sweater his mom would buy. One tiny example. Yeah, I believe that everything's for a purpose and for a meaning, and everything's connected. So, what about you, Kim? What do you think about that? Kim, are you with us? I think you might have gone frozen for a minute. Uh oh. Kim, are you there? We might have another internet issue here, guys. Ron was drawn to Atlantis life. That's awesome. Maybe Kim will be back in just a minute here.
Oh, I'm back.
You're
Can you
back.
see me?
Okay. Yes.
Yay! I had to switch internet.
No
I
problem.
like that. You were saying I don't believe it. The where it cut off is you said you don't believe in coincidences.
Right, right. Because I was
Let's
looking at
see.
Lisa's.
Tuesday, I'm reading the comment from Lisa.
Right, I have it up on the screen. Can you see it?
saw a sweater his mom would buy. That's funny. I can see it. I'm reading it
Okay.
here. And so, wow, I get a lot of coincidence. And maybe she's just using that word to describe the
Right.
serendipitous nature of it all.
Yeah, that's what I
Into
was
the,
thinking and what I was saying. I
hold
believe
on.
everything's
I might
connected.
have to switch internet browser, or not browsers, but Wi-Fi connections. I have like
Yeah,
three.
I think we have a delay
Such.
again. So before we
Hold
came
on.
on, we had a little
I
bit of
might
a
dip out
delay.
and come right back.
Okay.
Okay. Is it better now? Can you
I
hear me?
believe so. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. There might still be a little bit of a delay, but I don't think it's too bad. So I think we can
Okay.
go on.
Cool.
Hey, yeah. So no, I believe that what you're saying about the synchronicities in between, things, and that things are connected. And yeah, I believe that there's a reason for everything. If we feel connected to something, there is some kind of connection there, and there's probably a message behind it, right? Oh, I think she's frozen again, guys. Sorry. Kim, can you hear me? I think she is frozen, so we'll see if she can come back here in a minute. Kim, are you
Sorry,
there?
folks. I am.
Okay,
I
no problem. All right, can you hear me okay?
uh, I can hear you. I don't know if there's a
Okay.
delay, but I can hear you.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay. That's okay. Miss Moonlight says, I'm oddly drawn to stuff from the 50s. I bought the
Oh,
Housewives Tarot and the Pulp Tarot
okay.
because I was drawn to the 50s, 60s artwork. It's interesting.
That's your decade. Yeah, that's your decade. I say that's your decade. And there's something significant. You can do a reading on that. Why am I drawn to that era? What is it about? And then see what the archetypes come out as with the tarot.
So
So yeah, you
what
could
deck
draw.
is that?
You could do a reading on that to explore that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was having a little bit trouble hearing you again there.
Let me see. I'm waiting. I'm gonna stop my camera. Hmm. Say that again. I'm oddly drawn
You
to
were just
stuff.
you're freezing again a little bit, I
Yes, I
believe.
okay. Can you hear me now? I turned my camera off.
Yes, I can hear you. Is there a delay, or
Oh,
can
my
you hear me?
friends. I might have to. Let me see.
It was good when you were on the other internet, Kim. When you switched the first time when we were backstage, that seemed to work. Are you there? Yeah, Kim's having some technical things there with her internet, but no problem. This is such a fascinating topic, so thank you guys for being here. And I see you adding comments and everything, and I appreciate those. We'll just wait for her for a couple minutes here. Ani K says, I tell folks either I'm crazy or I'm psychic. I choose psychic. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Yeah, me too. Same thing. And I'm by myself now. All right, we'll give her a minute to come back. I'm sure she'll be back. What are your favorite ancestor oral tarots? That's a great question, Miss Moonlight. And when she gets back here, Ron, I don't think it's cold there. She's in the Dominican Republic, so maybe that's not why it's freezing, but maybe it got too hot. That's a great question, Miss Moonlight. I want to keep that up for Kim. Okay, Nancy, awesome. Ron, that'd be something I'd love to talk to you about maybe tonight, about your ancestor, um, about being drawn to Atlantis is what I meant. That's interesting. Here comes Kim back. Let's add and see how she is. Hey there.
Hi, friends. Can you see me?
It's a little
It's really
choppy, but
bad. It's Saturday. The people are off. Can you see me? Yes. We're restarting one of the boxes, one of the Wi-Fi boxes, to see if that will
okay.
work. It sucks, man. It sucks. I want to be able to chit chat with you both, with all of you. So it's like, what are your
Awesome.
favorite authors? Ancestral
Ancestral
Oros
Oral
Tarots.
Tarot.
Okay, I see that. Oh, well, can you hear me, Scott?
I can. I can hear you now.
Let me see.
Might be
Well,
a delay.
for me, if you can hear me, it would be the Hoodoo Tarot.
The
So
Hoodoo
that's
Tarot.
what I work with. Okay, good, 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 good. So I'll come back on in a moment so you can see my face, but we're restarting another Wi-Fi box.
Awesome.
But the Hoodoo, so there's probably a delay, but the Hoodoo Tarot is what I love to work with for this type of work. That um, exactly, exactly. So it's probably my favorite of all to work with, and that I reserve um, that deck for just that type of work. And preferably for just me. In terms of, yeah, for clients, I may end up using like the Tasma African Tarot.
Oh wow.
So I may use that for them, and then for myself, it's the Hoodoo. Surprisingly enough, or not surprisingly.
Right. That's awesome. That's a great question. Thank you, Miss Moonlight. And let me see
So I'm
here.
gonna reconnect. Hold on one second.
Okay. I'll let Kim comment on this too, Lisa. But I think definitely that definitely could have been the Revolutionary War, which I think was sometime earlier. But yeah, I believe I was actually fought in World War II. So as my great uncle, so I totally get that. We'll just wait for Kim to come back here. This is interesting too. Ani K says I like to have a good diverse deck for ancestral readings so I can see where folks are from. That's interesting. Yeah, I'd like to know which deck that you have that is like that. Let's try to add Kim back in here. Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear
Uh,
me?
yes, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
All right, awesome. Awesome. I was just talking to Ani K. She said I'd like to have a good,
Ah,
diverse deck
I like
for
to.
ancestral readings so I can
Oh,
see
I
where
like what
folks are
I.
from. Yeah, the Hoodoo Tarot. I know that Kim did a study on that, and so that was really interesting.
Mm-hmm. And she's right. I did do a Hoodoo Tarot study in the Facebook group. I did do that, and it was amazing. And if you join, Yes, we had a blast with that. We really did.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed that. That
And
sounds really
and
interesting.
you can join at any time and be able to pick up and see what we were doing, all the work that we did with the Hoodoo Tarot. It was just amazing. So, but and I like what Auntie Kay says. It is nice to have a diverse decks for this type of work.
Right.
Oh, it's evergreen. So anytime we do a tarot study, it's evergreen. Meaning you could join at any time, 10 years from now, and as long as Facebook's around, it'll be there.
Right. That's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
what we like.
definitely. Let's see. Had one I wanted to see here. Lisa says that one way
Hmm.
of
Let me
finding
drop
out a
my
little bit
camera.
of
I feel
picture
like that
yourself.
helps. One way of
Okay.
finding out a little bit might be picturing yourself walking down the hall. Yeah, I like that. Oh, I like that.
I always jokes that come from hundreds of generations of Ukrainian peasants. Now I wonder if maybe not so much of a joke. I wonder where that came from. That
Mm-hmm.
that joke came from.
Now I
So
wonder,
had to
okay.
come from somewhere.
Now I wonder,
Everything's
maybe not so much a joke. Ah, I like that.
yeah.
What Linda had to say.
Oh, you're back. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Kim? It's like there's a delay again here.
Yeah, I don't think it's a joke. I think it's all a part of the lineage, the plan. Mm-hmm. I can hear you. It's just delayed. I'm
All
gonna
right,
stop
no
my
problem.
camera. I
Hi,
can
Esther.
hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Just there's a delay. I think in you hearing me.
Oh, bummer, friends.
That's okay.
I can hear you, but there is a delay.
Yeah, massive delay.
Sorry. When I'm in California, we won't have these problems. Like,
Yeah, we're gonna have
we
to
won't
do
have
one
these
in
problems when I'm
California.
visiting my parents in California. I assure you.
Yeah, we'll have to do another one when you're in California for sure.
I can hear you. Yes, but there's a delay, but I can hear you. Let me see. Let me try once more this other Wi-Fi connection, and then I don't know.
Yeah, we can always reschedule it too, Kim. That's not a problem with me at all. So if you need to do that, we
That's
can do that
perfect.
as well.
Hi,
Hey, can you
can you
hear
see
me?
me? Yes. I hate this. I hate this because all I want to do is just talk to you. And the
I
people.
know, I know, I definitely. It's,
Yeah, it's like usually like a Thursday afternoon at like 2 o'clock, 2:30, when everybody's at work and at school. Let's
right,
see. What
gotcha.
else have we?
And let's see. Started shade
Shade
towards all
towards
the
all those. Ah,
pure heart.
I
Okay.
like that. I know there's this movie that's super controversial. It's coming out about Cleopatra on Netflix. I just saw that this week because, well, I guess the depiction, she's actually Greek and they have a black woman, and it's just like, I don't know. I'd rather hear from the people who are actually connected to them, like past lives, because
Right,
you
right,
have to
definitely.
pass and be
Yeah,
here.
that's true. Yeah. Okay, everybody's saying this sounding better now.
Oh,
So
bless you, peeps. You guys are so amazing. Thank you.
yeah, everybody's sticking in there. So that's awesome. Thank you guys for doing that.
Ah, Nancy, thank you for giving us the sounding good now.
Yep, sounding good now. So you're right on track. So it sounds like we've got a few more minutes. I'm trying to think here. There's so much I wanted to ask you, and now I'm like, okay, I'm squirreling out. Um,
I'll
do
be
you
back.
so do you enjoy doing this like full time and being able to do your passion, and is that like really fulfilling now for you?
Yes, I ask myself that every blue moon. Like, how are you feeling about this? Do you miss your old life, or do you like what you're
Right.
doing now? And I absolutely love it. I get to not just do readings, which is my passion, and I can't believe it. Like 10 years ago, I wouldn't even think that would be the case, but now I love it. And then I'm also mentoring people who want to transition into doing this work either part time or full time. And I get such gratification for that. So, yeah, I'm so happy. Yeah, I make less money. I'm not making
A lot of times it's not the money, it's whether you're satisfied and whether you oh, she froze again. But whether you're doing what you're passionate about, and that's what I think you're doing is by helping people. I think we might have had another freeze here going on. Yes, Kim is awesome, and guys, down below is Kim's information. She does all kinds of great recordings and does some lives as well. So make sure you subscribe and ring her bell, and then she's back. Are you back? Are you back, Kim? Can you hear me?
thank you. I, I can hear you. The question is there a delay? I hate this.
Right.
I swear it
That's
was working yesterday or the day before.
right. Yeah.
But you
Well, we can
guys are
definitely do.
amazing.
It's
I appreciate
Saturday, and
you all.
it's Saturday, and it's probably a lot of internet traffic keeping it, from maybe coming in correctly there, and the little delay. But I can still see you. It's we're going up on the hour anyways. I just wanted to thank you so much for being here, and we'll reschedule when you get to California, or even if your internet is just another day, maybe we will do
Yes.
that. There's so
I'll
much
have
more to talk about with you.
yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Hey, Kristen
Yes.
Louise.
I'll catch you during the week. Yes. I'll catch you during like a Wednesday. I'll catch you on
That
a
would be
Wednesday and
great.
I'll come back and we'll have a chit chat.
All right. So, if you'll hold on backstage for me, Kim, we'll try to come up with something of another date if
Oh,
that's okay with you. And we'll say bye to everybody. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. And this is just part one. This will not be the end. We will have Kim back. I will have Kim back on my channel for all of us because she is fantastic and just a beautiful, beautiful soul. So, thank you, Kim. If you can hear me, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
thank you, my friend.
Hold on for me until
Yes.
the end so we can talk. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I'll be on Ron's channel tonight at I believe it's
Oh,
8:30, and so doing
okay.
his regular Saturday Night Live. So um, everybody tune in if you can. I appreciate it. So we will see you guys very soon. And again, this is just part one. This is not the end of Kim coming to my channel. So there we go.
That's right. I'll be back with my internet woes, but during the week it's better when now that
All
everybody's
right.
off work.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds great. All right.
All
Much
right.
love
I
to
wanted to read.
everybody. Much love to everybody, and we'll see you soon.
Bye,
Bye
my
bye.
friends.